We've seen the slow mechanical transformation of flying cars in emerging prototypes. But a team of researchers from Virginia Tech has done it much more smoothly, although on a much smaller and longer scale, using liquid metal. The researchers have created a new shape-shifting soft robot that uses metal, rubber, and temperature to morph materials and then set them in place without any mechanical components. Inspired by kirigami, a Japanese paper cutting art, researchers created a material with a repeating geometric pattern. It has an endoskeleton made of low melting point alloy embedded inside a rubber skin. When stretched, the composite holds the shape. To return it back to the original shape, tendril-like heaters are used to liquefy the metal. It becomes rigid again once it cools. And it doesn't take much heat, about 60 degrees C. Components like propulsion systems can be integrated to the material to create robots that serve various purposes. In tests, a robot outfitted with motors, wheels, and propellers was shaped into a mini flying car that drives into a pad, flattens under heat, and then takes off as a quadcopter. They also made a small submarine used to retrieve small items from a tank. The researchers say the tech could also be promising in wearables, though I'm not really sure how, unless it's like flexible armor, in which case that's really cool. That's really cool. I mean, that is just like, you could do the whole Colossus thing as you're walking towards, I guess, battle or confrontation. I don't know, what do you call that when you're walking into it? How would you start it? Oh, off your body heat because you're so mad. David mad. Either way, it could lead to interesting new application-specific soft robots. But man, how cool would it be to have a self-healing, soft robot flying car? I mean, a submarine would be fine too, but it's just not practical. Based out of Oslo, Norway, Fresco Motors has created a new electric vehicle concept with a more than 620 mile per charge range. They round it to 1,000 kilometers. I mean, can we just get on board with metric? The electric POD, or pod, seats 8 people and has an electric motor in each axle. According to the company, this is to ensure that wheel drive also provides some off-road capabilities. Now, the pod doesn't use some new battery technology, just a double-stacked extra-large battery pack. And as we've seen in other EVs, the battery is big enough to be used as a backup for home or other applications. The company also notes that you can pretty easily use it as a camper. The seats lie down flat, and I guess you just put down some bedding or an air mattress if you're pursuing an increasingly popular nomad lifestyle. Or just tired on the road, I suppose. So far, details are sparse, and the renderings leave a lot to the imagination. I mean, they call it minimalistic, so maybe there isn't much to be seen other than 2 bench seats and a dash. You can pre-order a pod for about $1,200, or you can order one outright for $114,655. Beyond the design, the company doesn't plan to develop any of the tech in-house, but rather source it from third parties or, quote, well-known suppliers to save on development time and money. I mean, what happens to all of these concepts? I get that renders likely wind up on an old drive in some like cardboard e-waste bin, but what about like the physical prototypes? Is it like scrapyard, museum, like just storage facility? I mean, something you win in a divorce? The company says that no vehicles out on the roads today look like Fresco. What do you think? It looks a little familiar, like a boxier Tesla with a Volt back end. On February 5th, Sikorsky flew a UH-60A Black Hawk helicopter for the first time without anyone on board. And then they did it again 2 days later. The team flew the Black Hawk for 30 minutes at Fort Campbell in Kentucky, using DARPA's Aircrew Labor in Cockpit Automation System, or alias. During the test, the aircraft autonomously executed every maneuver while it was monitored by a crew on the ground. It took off, landed, and even avoided a simulated obstacle. I mean, I'm sure you don't want to go throwing actual obstacles in front of this thing yet. Sikorsky, a division of Lockheed Martin, outfitted the Black Hawk with its matrix autonomy technologies that operate as Alias's core. Optionally piloted vehicles could be a game changer for future missions, as they could fly in limited visibility or without communications. Alias is designed to work with existing manned aircraft to reduce crew operations. Less work for the pilot, who could focus more on the mission than the mechanics of the aircraft. I mean, it also means that we don't have to manufacture a new fleet of autonomous birds. According to DARPA, Alias will make flying safer and smarter. Pilots still manage complex interfaces and respond to unexpected situations. Alias could soon be able to execute entire missions, from takeoff to landing, including autonomously handling contingency events such as aircraft system failures, or the fake obstacles that this one avoided. I suppose high-powered laser pointers won't be such an issue as well. Further flight tests are planned, including one next month in Virginia using an M-model Black Hawk customized. Further tests are planned, including one next month in Virginia using an M-model Black Hawk customized with the Alias platform. I'm David Mantee. This is Engineering by Design.